Oh, tartar sauce. Ah. Come on.
Just go ahead.
Hello, I'm your friendly neighborhood Luis Perez.
And I'm Jason Acosta.
And we all love horror movies, right? Ah, the classic horror movies like Dracula, Frankenstein.
The Invisible Man, and my favorite, The Mummy.
Dracula's better. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, shouldn't this be saved for like Octoberween? Which we sadly couldn't conclude.
Yeah, and besides, it's way past Octoberween there.
We're near December.
Yeah.
In which case we have to do Decemberween. Oh no, this December. Ooh, spoilers!
Spoilers!
But there is this one movie that we didn't put in Octoberween because really it's more of an action movies trilogy.
Yeah, it's more like an action horror movie.
But here's the thing. Hollywood's been making a lot of remakes of our favorite horror classics like Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
even The Wolfman.
Well, except there's only Wolf.
Yes.
Instead it's called Wolf.
Today we're going to talk about, but this horror remake doesn't really try to be a horror movie anyway. It's more like an action movie or an action horror movie or whatever you like to call it. This is the remake of The Mummy.
Stephen Sommers' The Mummy.
Yeah. So The Mummy, one of the most famous monsters isn't one of the iconic ones. Like, he doesn't go up there with, well, like Dracula and Frankenstein. He's not even remembered for that. You don't really see that many people cosplaying as The Mummy. Hey, I know you like him, but that's true.
I mean, heck, they don't even cosplay as the Invisible Man.
But this movie is probably the most memorable film that was ever made from The Mummy, aside from the ones that were in the black and white ages.
And starring Boris Karloff, and even the Hammer series, starring Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee's awesome.
Yeah.
But we're gonna review the 3 movies. Okay, I'll say Dragon 3 for the end.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're gonna review the first Mummy movie, which is, well, The Mummy. Let's review it. So in ancient Egypt, there's this man named Imhotep who's been, well, doing it with the pharaoh's wife. The pharaoh finds out and tries to arrest him until Imhotep kills him. And the wife too. And the guards kill the wife and arrest Imhotep and then kills him in the most awful way ever. They take out his tongue, wrap him up, put him in a sarcophagus, and then bury him with, what are they called?
Scarabs.
And then they leave him there being eaten alive by scarabs. Yeah, pretty painful way to die. Thousands of years later, we then meet Rick O'Connell, a famous treasure explorer who's with his, well, you know, love interest, Evie. They hear the legends of the great Imhotep until he gets...
Also, let's not forget Jonathan.
Oh, and Jonathan. I almost forgot about him. Imhotep gets resurrected and he sort of steals the souls from people. So Imhotep, when Imhotep meets Evie, he reminds her of her bride. So he kidnaps her and decides to sacrifice her to revive his dead wife. It's up to Rick O'Connell to stop Imhotep before he can steal the souls of everyone and revive the dead old wife from a good old love interest.
And possibly could become immortal.
The story here is very, well, cool, you know. As you can tell, it's not much of a horror movie like the other remakes, like, again, Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
It's more like an action movie with some horror elements mixed into it.
But there are some very scary moments, like this one, for example.
What was that scary one?
Excuse me, man. Oh yeah, the scene where Imhotep sucks the soul out of someone, and you don't even see it. He's off screen, but you can see the shadow of him sucking the soul out of him. Until Rick O'Connell sees him, and you see that it's nothing but bones.
Yeah. And that's actually part of his regeneration.
Now we get the
And
character.
also, there's actually one part of Imhotep that actually makes him... that's a little kind of funny. But we'll mention him in the characters list.
Now with the characters. First we have Rick O'Connell, played by Brendan Fraser.
He's actually quite a bad butt.
Yeah, he's not the most memorable action hero, unlike Indiana Jones, but he's still a pretty cool one.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of like Indiana Jones and I guess James Bond, since he has some sort of weapons and mixed them together, and yeah, Rick O'Connell, I guess.
And he's pretty awesome.
And I wonder if Rick O'Connell was the inspiration for Nathan Drake.
Who knows?
Eh.
Then we have the love interest, Evie.
Played by Rachel Weisz.
And boy, she has pretty good love interest in this film.
Yeah, I mean, she actually stands up to herself, like...
Especially when she's especially when Imhotep almost tries to kidnap her.
Yeah. Heck, is she even... There's actually one scene where she actually uses a rifle and shoots down one of the horsemen. Literally, like...
That is awesome.
Just wow. I mean...
Then we have Jonathan.
Played by John Hannah. He's mostly used for,
comic relief.
And he's actually quite funny. He's also Evie's brother.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Then we have one of the villains.
Not
Not the main villain, but one of them.
Benny, played by Kevin J. O'Connor.
He's also used for comic relief, only, well, he's the villain. Next! Then we have the main bad guy of the film, Imhotep.
Played by Arnold Vosloo.
And, while not as memorable as, well, someone like Karloff, he is still pretty awesome.
Like, for example...
Like, when the first time you see Imhotep, like, truly see Imhotep, he is nothing but a skeletal figure who has to steal the souls of people so he can regain it, not only his human physical looks, but also his powers.
And turn out the actor actually did motion capture when he's in decomposed form. Isn't that cool?
So yeah, motion capture can be used for CGI.
Yeah, doesn't have to be fully CGI. Lucas.
We're talking about you, Lucas. And especially Phantom Menace. And then, he's a pretty awesome villain in this film.
Yeah, the rest of the characters, well, they're pretty stereotypical.
Yeah, we have the stereotypical, well, Indian. Excuse me. We have the stereotypical scientist.
Or Egyptologist.
Still.
And then there's the stereotypical guys that just, like, wants to look for treasure, like, yeah, we found some treasure, boys! Woo!
But still, the characters that do have characters are pretty awesome.
Yeah, and plus my favorite one is actually it's the guy that actually has some conflict with Jonathan. Like, wow, he's actually quite funny in this. Like for example, when Rick tells him to wait, well, apparently he realizes he's been tricked, and he's like, yeah.
Then we have the music. The music is pretty awesome. It's like Egyptian, but with action in it.
Yeah, and besides when the suspenseful elements come in, you feel like you're actually in them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then we have the special effects. Oh
my gosh!
The special effects in this movie are awesome. Especially when it comes to the sound effects and Imhotep.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. When we first see Imhotep, he is nothing but a skeleton, you know? Skeleton with very little skin.
He's, as Evie said, decomposed.
And throughout the movie, he's stealing the souls of people and gradually getting his physical form and his powers back. But when he is in his skeletal form, actually the actor that played him actually had to use motion capture. So, well, and they cover some and they put some CGI, kind of like in Lord of the Rings with Gollum.
Yeah, Gollum looks awesome.
So yeah, you don't need to. So yeah, motion capture can make CGI too. You know, they don't have to be completely CGI.
Lucas!
We're looking at you, Lucas, especially with Phantom Menace.
Also, we forgot to mention, when Imhotep's almost is in his decomposed form, he's actually afraid of one thing. Cats.
Yes! There's this ancient, like seriously, there's this ancient Egyptian mummy who was resurrected from the dead, and the one thing he has this unlimited power to suck the souls of people and gain power, and the one weakness he has is cats.
Yeah, but however the priest says that cats are guardians of the underworld. He will fear them until he's fully regenerated. Okay.
Come on, it's the same thing like Superman, who's like a god, but there's one weakness that destroys it all.
Yeah, kryptonite. So yeah, it's sort of like Imhotep's kryptonite is cats, but he doesn't fear them when he's fully regenerated. Wow.
Not for the good and the bad. The best part in this movie is definitely the action scenes. You know, while this is meant to be like a action horror movie, the horror elements are barely there.
Yeah.
But the action scenes is pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially with Rick when he always gets out his dual pistols and starts shooting everything. Just felt awesome.
Now for the worst.
Yeah, some of the characters can be stereotypical.
Again, we have the Indian and the scientist, and even the guy who's just there for the treasure explorers. But still, this is a great movie, and we give this movie the final verdict of a 9.5.
This is definitely probably my favorite horror remake just out there. Like any type of horror remake. If you're a Mummy fan or just any horror movie fan, if you're just looking for a good time, definitely watch this movie.
There hasn't been a better remake since
Dracula, I guess?
Yeah, since Dracula.
Well, until Evil Dead came out and Carrie, but we'll do those some other time.
I'm Luis Perez.
I'm Jason Costa, and I'm gonna go suck a soul.
What? Oh!
Get back here! Get back here! Get back here! Get back